عافية.
يا هلا بالشباب، كيفكم جميعا؟
Hello everyone.
ايفلين قد ايه بعد بننطر؟
ننطرنا شي دقيقتين بعد بس.
اوكي.
يعني بعتت مسج.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
اهلا اهلا.
بونسوار جميعا نقيب إيفلين، بونسوار جميعا.
Hello.
بونسوار جميعا، يعطيكم العافية.
بونسوار.
بونسوار.
So, Wallet, are you ready to get started, or?
One more minute. Just give
Okay.
me one more.
I will just mention for those who may be watching live on YouTube, we are getting ready to broadcast a webinar for my friends in Beirut, Lebanon. My good friend Walid Musa, who is the, are you still the president or chairman of the board there?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes, I am.
I thought you were, yeah. And who's also past president, world president for FIAPSI, which is one of the premier international real estate organizations. And Walid just finished his term not too long ago and still is very active with FIAPSI as a board of director, and has been very instrumental in keeping FIAPSI moving through some challenging times. And he's been a friend of mine for quite a while.
10 years maybe.
Yes.
We can start, John. We're
Okay.
39 now. We're fine. 39.
Okay, I will get started. Well, I want to welcome everyone to our session today. And I had, as I mentioned, Walid and I are very good friends. We go back several years, and also we're both members of FIAPSI. And I had reached out to Walid. First and foremost, I want you to know that you have my deepest thoughts and prayers and condolences. You've had some very challenging times this past year, and we were horrified by the images and video that we had seen on TV. And I know that it's been a very challenging time for you. And I wanted, as a friend of Walid and as a friend of your association, to reach out and do not only this webinar, but hopefully we can do some more. Hopefully, maybe some of our future webinars, we can do more one-on-one where you can ask questions and I can maybe walk you through some scenarios, or if you see some apps or things that I'm going to discuss, I'd be more than happy to go over those with you. So I like to start my presentation to let everybody know something about me. I got my real estate license in 1978. I was 18 years old. I took over my mother's real estate company, and we had 3 very successful real estate offices, and I had a number of agents who worked for me. And in 2004, my wife and I decided to buy a pick your own blueberry and blackberry farm. Now, I still own the real estate office, but I had a friend of mine who wanted me to go to work for a bank here in the United States. And so it was at that time that I sold my real estate company and I went to work for a bank. And my wife and I build our dream home. We're living the dream. I would always tell people that. They would say, "Hey, John, how are things going?" And I would say, "I'm living the dream. I own this pick your own blueberry, blackberry farm. I have beautiful views. I have a brand new home. I took a new job with the bank." And then April 7th, 2007 came around and my world was turned upside down. Literally on April 7th, 2007, a lot of things happened in my life and I literally wanted to quit. I do want to mention when you log in, if you wouldn't mind to mute your microphone because others can hear you, it would help the other participants. So if you'll please just mute your microphone, that would help us out. Thank you for that. So I wanted to quit.
Just a minute, John. شباب,
Yes.
please حطوا المايكروز كلهم on mute.
Thank you.
Code de ta carte 7791.
So
mute. في حدا عم يحكي please يحط mute.
So it's April 7th, 2007, and I wanted to quit. I really wanted to quit. I didn't know what to do. I had had some traumatic things happen in my life, and I really felt like all hope was gone. I really did. I mean, sometimes we think about hope and we think about how can I get my life back when you've had some challenges thrown at you. And you know, you just sometimes really don't know which way to go. And for me, I felt like my world was collapsing on top of me. I tell a lot of people, I felt like a boxer who was defeated, and it's like, don't put me back into the ring again. And so I had to make some big changes and challenges in my life when you go back to April 7th, 2007. One of those changes was I had to kind of learn how to pick up and keep going. I wanted to quit, but I knew I couldn't quit, and I knew that I shouldn't quit. My father always taught me never to quit. And so I knew I had to pick back up and I had to start over. There was one thing that I always told my real estate agents. I told them, I said, listen, if you want to have a better year this next year, you cannot continue to do the same old thing and expect different results. In fact, that's the Chinese definition for insanity. You do the same old thinking and you expect different results, but when you do the same thing over and over, you're normally going to have the same results. So I knew that I had a long road ahead of me for success. I knew that I had probably some distraction along the way. I probably had some failure, but I knew that if I persevered and I knew that if I did hard work, I could succeed. Now, one of the really cool things about this time in my life is that I had a chance to start over. I really did. And I looked at this time in my life as a painter would look at a fresh piece of paper and a canvas, that I could literally recreate my life. So I was going to make some things happen, and I knew that I had to go out and I needed to do that. So the first thing I want to talk to you about today is some of the technology tools that helped me kind of go from being in this deep, dark tunnel to having what I feel some major success in my life. So I want to talk about video. I started using video back in 2007 when I had this major catastrophe in my life. In fact, I was on YouTube before Google purchased YouTube. And one of the things I want you to understand is that when you have a YouTube channel, you actually have your own television channel. So I literally started embracing YouTube. And how could I use YouTube to grow my business? In fact, I'm broadcasting live on YouTube right now. And I have a number of followers on YouTube, not probably many as some of the others have out there, but I can tell you this, every day I hear from someone who's finding me on YouTube. Just yesterday, I got an email. And they purchased a product from me. And so I'm growing my business through video. And I want to show you some things that I'm using with video. So the first one is a tool called Switcher Studio. Now, we are using Zoom right now, but then and by the way, there are many apps out there similar to this one. But Switcher Studio allows you to use your phone and use your iPad and broadcast live to your YouTube channel, your Facebook channel, or your LinkedIn. Now, here's a picture of me broadcasting live to my real estate school, and my students can log in, watch me, and all of this is controlled through my iPad. So what is really interesting about YouTube is, just like I'm doing with you, I can go between one camera or my screen on my computer, or if I had another camera over there, I could press a button and go to that camera. And all of this makes my experience a little bit more user-friendly and more like a television show. I was speaking in Florida at a big technology conference, and I did my presentation. And when I finished, a lady came up to me afterwards, and she came up to me and she said, "John, I have the perfect person for you that you have to meet." Now, at first I said, "Well, thank you, but I'm a happily married man." And she said, "Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I mean, I want to introduce you to a business owner." So I said, "That's great. I'd love to meet him." Well, the business owner owns a television station in Florida. It's one of the largest television stations in Florida. He flew my wife and I down to Florida and wanted to meet with me. One of his concerns that he had, and why he wanted to talk to me, is that in the United States, and I do not know about in Beirut, Lebanon, but in the United States, many younger people are not watching TV through the satellite. They are streaming it on their phone or streaming it on their iPad. And he told me, he said, "John, I have to create more content that I can put on the internet so people can watch our programming." And it dawned on me when he told me that literally we are in a new world. We have the ability, you have the ability to have your own television station, broadcast it right from your home, and literally have thousands of people who watch you. I'm teaching classes now. I'm doing webinars using Switcher Studio or using Zoom and broadcasting it live on YouTube. And I'm getting thousands of people who are watching that. Now, my next venture, because I have a website, I have a real estate school called Global Real Estate School, but I have another domain called Global Real Estate TV. And I'm going to be launching some television featured videos for real estate professionals in 2021. But can you see how I'm taking advantage of some of the new tools and technology? And by the way, YouTube is free. And some of these tools that I have that I'm using are very, very, very inexpensive that you can use. So a lot of people will say to me, "Well, John, I want to do video, but I don't know I'm not very good on video, or I don't know if I would be good in front of the camera." And my question or my answer to you is, find your passion. What do you like to do? You can go on YouTube and there are people that want to know about canning pickles or food. There are people that want to know about fishing. There are people that want to know what's it like to live in Beirut, Lebanon. How do I buy a home in Beirut, Lebanon? And so you really need to think about, how can I take my home, just like I've done here, and how can I create some type of studio and I can literally do training or teaching or run a video show right from my own home. And by the way, I'm in my basement of my home in a little corner where I just fixed a television screen on the wall, and I have some lights and a little plant, and here I am with my television studio. So it's not having to invest thousands of dollars. Sometimes it's just a little bit of money, but the key is you have to do it consistently. Now, one of the things I've been doing, yes.
John, just to interrupt you a second. Can you put me as an admin? Because I need to mute some people while you're talking. If you can put me as an admin.
Absolutely. Yes. And I should have done that, but we can do that right now. I think if I make you a co-host, that will allow you to. Does that allow you to mute some folks?
Okay. Let me try, because I can still hear some voices. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. All right.
No.
Thank you, Walid.
Marcel, Ayub, Marcel.
Okay, so getting back to video and just explaining to you about some of the things you can do with video, it's not that expensive and it can be very, very powerful and effective. And I'm here to tell you, video's probably not going away. More and more people will be using video. And so I encourage you to look and think about how you can do that. Now, here's another tip that I've used when I started my online real estate school. There's a YouTube app or many apps on your phone where you can record the video. And you can see here, I'm using a free app called the YouTube app. And when I open it up, there's a camera. When I select the camera, I can select record or go live, and I can record a video and I can send a video out to my clients or customers. Now, I do this a lot for people I'm working with who are trying to find a home, and they love it. And I upload the video to YouTube. I copy the link, I type a message, and I tell them, this is me, John Mayfield, and I did prepare this video for you. You can click on the link to watch it. Now, one thing I want to forewarn you, if you do this and you upload your video to YouTube, you want to make sure that you mark the video unlisted. You do not want to mark it public. But here's what's interesting. I have an online real estate school, and I will have students that will ask me questions. And rather than me type out a big long message, I can record the video, send them the link, they can watch it, and literally I'm able to answer emails by using video. Now, I don't do that on every video, on every email, but sometimes there are emails we need to send to clients and we need to explain why something's taking longer than normal, or what the problem or the issue is, or maybe the congratulations part. So think about how you can use video. There are even opportunities where you can use Instagram TV. So Instagram TV allows you to be able to broadcast again a television show or a short video clip. And it's all about trying to get people to come towards you and to follow you. So I want to give you an idea that is very powerful. And in fact, I've hired a person who's helping me with my social media because my business has grown and things are very good for me, that I needed to bring somebody in to help me. And one of the things that I've not been doing regularly is doing the next tip that I'm going to share with you. I was at a conference in New York City. It's called Inman Connect. It's a very popular conference. They have lots of technology speakers. They bring people in from Facebook and Google. There was a gentleman there from Facebook, and he was telling us Facebook Live is very, very big. And he told us, he said, however, if you think video's popular, if you can take your video and you can add subtitles to it, it's huge. In other words, can you add words across the bottom? Well, there's a software called iSkySoft that I've been using, and it allows me to pull videos off of YouTube that I've created, and then it magically turns around and puts my subtitles or the words that I'm speaking right below the screen. So if I want to take this video here, put it into iSkySoft, the words that I'm speaking will show up at the bottom of the screen after I use this software. Well, one of the things that I've been doing a lot of is using Instagram. Instagram's a huge platform. A lot of people are using it. And I feel like I've been doing a lot of work on YouTube, but I needed to do more videos on Instagram. The problem with Instagram is that they want you to shoot your videos straight up and down. For YouTube, I use my videos like this. Well, this format for YouTube doesn't work for Instagram because they want your phone this direction. Very frustrating because it's very time consuming to change everything. Well, guess what? There's a software called Capwing, and Capwing allows you to upload your video. And you can see here, this is one of my real estate coaching videos that I have for my school. It not only formats it for Instagram, but it adds the text on the bottom as the gentleman from Facebook said we should do. And I'm here to tell you, when I started using this, my numbers for views, my numbers for shares were many more times than what I was traditionally getting. So again, I'm working on this. This is a project my new social media person is going to do, but it's called Capwing, and it's a very good tool. Now I want to give you another tip for some social media websites, and I'm just going to talk about Instagram. And a lot of people don't know this. Instagram is a visual social media platform. And what I mean by that is Instagram's all about pictures and video. Yes, you can add text, but Instagram is so much more than text. It's really about video and photographs. Well, think about this. If you were a social media company and you had a product that was really about pictures and video, you are missing out on people who are visually impaired, people who cannot see. And so they want people with disabilities to be able to participate on Instagram. So when you go to post a picture on Instagram, at the bottom of the screen, you can see right here, there is a button that says Advanced Settings. When you click Advanced Settings, you want to go down and find the wording Right Alt Text. This allows you to add text in this box. And what does that text do? It actually converts the text for your photograph so that if someone who cannot see is on Instagram, they can read what your image is all about. But the really neat thing about this is that Instagram will boost your post because they like people who are using this feature. So all Google and all of these companies love alt text. Just to give you an example, when I write a blog for my global real estate school or my business tech guy, I always include text for the pictures. I always include text in different places that you can do this. And all of your web platforms have this. It's just most of us don't realize how powerful those keywords are. So you definitely want to use things like the alt text. And what you want to do is be sure you're putting keywords in like your real estate office name, Beirut, Lebanon. Maybe if there's a specific area of the city of Beirut, you want to make sure that's included because all of that will show up in search engines when people are looking online. So it's very important we think about video. We're using Zoom right now. I'm using a little box that I bought it's called a ATEM mini, but it's a little box and I can have up to 4 cameras. I'm only using 2. I'm using my PowerPoint here, or I can go back to the camera in the PowerPoint, but I could have 2 more cameras set up to where I could go over to my whiteboard and I could draw if I wanted to write, or I could use another camera if I wanted to just turn and talk to another camera. But we need to think about the opportunity with some of these technology tools, how we can literally change the face of some of the things we're doing. So Zoom is one platform that we've been, that I've been using. I'm going to see why my remote's not working. I may have to use the escape key here. I hope let's see, there we go. All right. So, so one of the things I've been doing recently is using Zoom. And I just wanted to show you this because I've been using Zoom for many years. In fact, Walid probably remembers me talking about Zoom at one of the sessions I did 5 or 6 years ago, because it's been around a long time and Zoom's very powerful. But I've been using Zoom as a real estate broker. And by the way, I still list and sell real estate. And there are programs out there, lots of various programs, where you can literally use these and go out and showcase Zoom and some of the houses that you have listed. Now, here's what I've done on Zoom, and it's been very, very powerful and effective for me. I just sold a farm, a pretty expensive farm in the United States, and I did a Facebook Live through Zoom. It was just me and my client. And all I did was I had pictures of his property. I put those in a PowerPoint. I made my seller the co-host, and he talked about the pictures of his farm and what he appreciated about his home, what he was going to miss. And he and I had a conversation. We broadcast that live on Facebook. Within 30 minutes of doing that live broadcast, I had an agent in Arizona, which is 5 or 6 states away from me, contact me and say, I just watched your video on Facebook. My brother's moving to Missouri and he wants to buy a farm. Now, he didn't buy the farm. However, I got a lead off of that and we did sell the farm, but I just used Zoom with my client and some basic digital photographs I took on my phone. And I just shared those on my screen and he was able to talk about it as my seller. It was very powerful and it was very, very effective and we were able to use that. But we're in a kind of a different world today. People are searching, people are wanting to find out more. I told you yesterday, I received an email from a lady in Oklahoma. And I have a school, a real estate school is approved in Oklahoma. And her email said, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for you. And I'm reading this email and I'm like, I don't even know this lady. She said, I found your videos on YouTube. I went to a real estate school here in Oklahoma and I learned nothing. And I've learned more from you watching your YouTube videos than I ever learned in my real estate school here in Oklahoma. And she said, I just want to thank you for helping me to pass the test. And she bought a product from me online from my store. And we corresponded by a couple of emails. But I'm telling you that story because we're in this connected world. If you put a video or a picture on Instagram, you need to make sure someone can connect the dots and find you. If you're going to put a video on YouTube, you need to make sure people can find you. So there's this really interesting application called Linktree. It's free for the basic version, which I've used, and I'm going to show you the basic version and I'm going to explain how this works. With the Linktree, you get what is called a landing page. And a landing page is where you can put additional links to properties you have for sale, to your YouTube channel, to your company website, to a video about you. It is the most fascinating tool. And here's what happens with Linktree. A person sees your Instagram post and you say, click on my more information in my bio above. When a person clicks on your bio, your Linktree link is there. And when they click on the Linktree link, they literally end up going to whatever one of these websites you want them to go to. And so now when I post something on my Instagram and I'm trying to promote a class or something else, all I have to do is set up a link on my Linktree. And when I tell people to find out more, go to my Linktree, they click on whatever I'm talking about, and they can go look at a virtual tour of one of my homes. They can register for a career night. They could register for an upcoming virtual open house. Literally, they can register or go to your real estate TV channel that you're going to do. But since I started using Linktree, it has been a game changer for me, because now my social media has more of a targeted focus to where I can send people to the website or the landing page that I want them to go to. So it's a very fascinating program, and I think that you'll find that it's very helpful. I use it all the time. So it's called Linktree, and you can see it right there. For some reason, my little remote is not working, so I may have to try to, sorry about this. Well, I don't know what the issue could be. Just 1 second. Hopefully you can still hear me, Wallet. I hope I didn't lose my connection.
We can hear you perfectly.
Okay, just there we go. All right. I have a new computer that just arrived this morning because this one I think is getting a little too old. So I can use Linktree, as you could see here, to, oh gosh. There we go. So I can use Linktree to send people to a website. You can see here, I literally can then forward them to where I want them to go, to my real estate exam coach. And then once I capture their email address, I'm able to follow up and stay in touch with them. So there are lots of solutions out there for this. You can see here, this is a Facebook ad that I ran. I have a real estate license in Florida, and literally from Missouri, I can try to get referrals by doing Facebook advertising in Florida. When people want to know what their home is worth, it sends them to a landing page. I capture their email. I now have a lead, and it's all about getting leads into your funnel or your pipeline. You know, a lot of times we try to fish and we're not fishing with the correct bait. And we have to remember there are a lot of people out there searching on Google. 100 billion searches monthly is what's happening on Google. And we've got to realize that, you know, we're in this connected world, and how can we capture and create leads? And so I just want you to remember, there's lots of people out on the internet. They're searching for stuff and they need help, and you can help them. There's a lot of noise out there, but you have to cut through that. And some of the ways that I've been able to figure out how to grow my real estate school and my real estate business, you know, remember in 2007, I literally was unemployed. And so I'm trying to figure out, how can I grow my business? And I figured out that, well, Google allows you to go out, and if you type in some keywords, you can literally find out what people are searching for. Some of the things that I thought people were searching for regarding real estate schools were totally different when I started using this principle or practice. And then Google also has what is called a keyword planner tool. And so this is free, it doesn't cost anything, but I can go to Google and I can put in keywords, and Google will then tell me, these words are good, John, but these words are much better. So think about how you can use some interesting tools. There's Facebook has a creator studio. And here's what's fascinating. We kind of discovered this with our real estate school, which is interesting, but we actually can look at our competitors, and there are tools out there that will show you what kind of ads and keywords your competitors are using. So there are some very successful real estate schools in the United States, and we've been able to look through some of these tools. It's all out there. It's called big data. It's public information. In the fine print, you're allowing them to share this, but we've been able to find out what our competitors are doing, and we're thinking, well, we can do that same thing. So there are tools out there that work with Instagram and with Facebook. They'll tell you what is your biggest post and how many views, and you need to fine tune that. And what I want you to think about here is you have to have a strategy. When I really started looking at my real estate company and my real estate school as a strategy, when I developed a strategy and a marketing plan, that's when I really started to grow. And I knew that I had to be different. And I'm encouraging you to be different. Don't be like all of the other real estate agents. You know, some of you may be saying, John, I don't want to do a television show. I don't want to do a YouTube channel. But you know what? If you do the same thing you're doing over and over and over and expect different results, you'll go insane. And if you try to blend in with everyone else, you'll never succeed. You know, be what I like to say, a red leather chair. Be different. Stand out. You know, some of the people I follow on YouTube, they remove the background from their picture. And I'm like, how do they do that? They're very successful people. Well, there's a free tool called remove.bg. And look, I took a picture and I removed the background in just a matter of seconds. And it was free. It didn't cost me anything. Well, now we're using this for my real estate school. And I took my wife took a bunch of pictures of me in front of a wall. We removed the background. And in my real estate school, my students are seeing me pointing out things or holding my hands out or crossing my arms. But now I'm able to be not only the instructor on Zoom, but the instructor online when they're taking their course on their own. So there's some really neat things that you can do out there, but you've got to be different. Canva is like having your own graphic artist. Wallet and I have a very good friend in Nice, France, and Kierkegaard told me one time, he said, I can't imagine why everyone doesn't have their own graphic artist. Kierkegaard's had a graphic artist for years. Well, the gentleman that I hired for my social media, and by the way, he works from home. He comes over a couple of days a week. He takes care of all my social media, all of my graphic artist work. He does all of it. And he uses Canva and he uses some other tools. But we need to think about how can we be different? How can we use some tools that are out there? This is another tool that I love called Placeit.net. And Fiverr, if you don't want to do those, you can hire people on Fiverr. I hired this graphic on Fiverr for $15 US. And that's what I use on my YouTube channel. So, you know, you've got to be different. You have to think about, how can I stand out? When people are searching, how are they going to find me? And if you're not different, you'll just flow in with everyone else. You'll be different. I jokingly said, I'm a speaker as well. I'm a real estate broker, trainer and speaker, and I run a real estate school. And I think you have to have multiple streams of income. I think that's good. But I wanted to do something different on Zoom. And so I do a lot of webinars for associations and companies. And I can do it right here and have more cameras and use my whiteboard to write on the screen. But I just did a big webinar for the Hawaii Association of Realtors using this platform. We had an air-free webinar, but I did that just as a courtesy for them. They were so impressed with the webinar because all of their other webinars had been like everyone else, that they wanted to send me a check for doing that for them. But I just want you to think about, how can you be different? There are tools and software, and some of these, as I mentioned to Wallet, I hope that we can do 2 or 3 more of these for you at no charge. You know, I'm not charging you anything, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to try to give back to you during your challenging time and to help you grow as a real estate professional. But this little tool right here, I have used a lot, and it's where you can create your own digital magazine. And so I create digital magazines. I put them on social media. I use Linktree. People download they'll download the book, and I get their contact information, and it's all done online. There's another friend I just met. He created a really neat app for your phone, and it's called Easy Card. And I like it because I follow the statistics on my real estate school and my website. 5% plus or minus of people who come to my real estate school website are on a mobile phone. So I'm almost thinking, you know, do you need a website anymore? Probably, but do you need a mobile app? Absolutely. And you know, you're so fortunate to have Walid, because Walid recognized this with Fiopsi 3 or 4 years ago and was a big proponent of trying to get Fiopsi to move towards more of a mobile app. But we have to think about the disruption that's out there and how can we grow our companies and our businesses. Now, I've shown you a lot of things that, you know, YouTube, and we've done, and maybe you're doing things on Facebook or Instagram. But one of the neat things about video is that you can repurpose this content. So I could take this video that I've just done. This is a different video I did in the United States. If you've served in the military, the government has some wonderful financing options for you. And so the problem is a lot of our military don't know how to get their VA loan. We call it a VA loan. So I did a webinar. This was probably 7, 8 years ago, before people were doing virtual webinars, like, you know, before the pandemic. So we did the webinar and I had several people attend. I used Facebook advertising, and I only wanted to do the ads in my marketplace. From there, I took the video and I converted it to a podcast. And from the podcast, which is audio, I was actually able to have this on iTunes and other places where people could listen on their phone. And so you take the video, you right-click your mouse and separate the video and audio. You have 2 tracks. You delete the video track. It gives you the audio track, and you save that as an audio file. And now you can save that file, you can upload it to Podbean, and you actually have your own podcast. And then I can take it through a dictation program, and I have a blog. So I've been able to repurpose a social media video, have it on YouTube, create a podcast, create a blog, and I can use that on Instagram, LinkedIn, and send all of those back to my website. So I just want you to remember that people are searching. There are 100 billion searches every month on YouTube. And the key is, how can you get people to find you? You've got to be different. And not only do you have to be different, but you have to have a strategy. You have to have a game plan. And you have to have a checklist. We have a checklist here that we use, and consistency is the key. I was at a national speakers conference a couple of years ago, and there were 3 young people on the stage who were social media stars, millions of followers on Instagram and YouTube, Facebook. And the person who was interviewing them on the panel said, if there's anything you could tell our audience today, what they need to do, what would you tell them? And I'm kidding you not, without blinking an eye, they all 3 said, you have to be consistent. You have to do it every day. And that's why I'm encouraging you to, you know, remind yourself that people are searching. There's a lot of searches out there every month. They need help, and you need a game plan. You need to develop a game plan. Well, it was April 7th, 2007, and I wanted to quit. I told you that, right? We had this pick your own blueberry, blackberry farm. I'm working for the bank. I just sold my real estate company, and April 7th, 2007 comes, and we lost our blueberry crop. That's an actual picture I took. And it's funny because I was looking for a graphic that said I quit. And I found this graphic on the internet with the number 7 and I quit. And I thought to myself, that's ironic because it was April 7th when we lost our crop and I lost my job and I wanted to quit. And so, you know what? I just took out a fresh paper. I started doing some different things and I started making some things happen. Well, let's see here. Let me fix one quick thing. Sorry about that. Okay. Your camera will only go for 30 minutes in the United States and you have to press the record button again. So, so here I am. It's probably 2008 or 9, Walid. I'm going to take you back to San Diego, California, the National Association of Realtors Conference. And I'm speaking on technology, and there must have been 600 or 700 people in the room. And I noticed there were 3 men dressed in very nice suits on the second or third row. And so I'm speaking, I'm talking about technology. This is back in 2008. And technology was just, a lot of people were looking at me, and I felt like I was just falling flat to the audience. And I was sweating, and I was thinking to myself, they will probably never ask me to speak again. And I just tried to keep my energy up, and I kept speaking. And when I finished, I saw a lot of people that wanted to get in line and talk to me. And the 3 men down here, immediately, one of them came up and he said he wanted to get his picture taken with me. And we got our picture taken, and he said, I'm bringing you to Nice, France to speak. And I said, great, can I bring my wife? He said, yes, bring your wife. You know, he called me about 2 weeks later and we set up a date. Now, he had no idea that I had sold my farm, lost my job, signed a non-compete clause, and basically my wife and I were living in an apartment, and we were just trying to get by. It was that challenging. So I fly to France, speak at this conference, become friends with this gentleman. And he had no idea of what was going on in my life. But a few weeks later, he asked me if I wanted to come and move to France to live with him, or live in an apartment and help him with his office. And I tell you that story not to brag, but just to say, when I was in the deepest, darkest tunnel of my life, this gentleman changed my life. And I remember reading a book, and by the way, that's a picture from our apartment in Nice, France. And I remember reading in that book this quote, and it basically said, you know, sometimes we get in such a hurry about trying to get to all of these goals in life that really what's going on today, right now, is more precious than any goal we could seek. And that taught me a lot about gratitude and being grateful. It taught me a lot about, you know, enjoying today. We never know what tomorrow could bring. And sometimes we can get so aggravated about today, and we have to stop and say, you know what? I'm just thankful for today. And there's a little app I use on my phone called the 5-Minute Journal, and it allows me to add pictures from my phone, and it allows me to type in what I'm grateful for and what I hope to get accomplished today. But I want you to know this, you know, even in the midst of trials and situations, don't quit. I wanted to quit, and I didn't quit, and I'm glad I didn't, because you know what? You just have to keep trying some different things. And so I encourage you, be different, reach out, figure out, how can I use technology? Yes, I'm in a lockdown, but you know what? There are opportunities, and there are some things that I might be able to do to still be able to make a living, sell real estate, and maybe even do some other new venture you've always wanted to do, and you will succeed, but you've got to do some different things in life. So I hope this was helpful for you. I pulled a bunch of slides out, and in the midst of that, I realized I actually moved 2 slides in the wrong direction, but I want you to know I hope I can come back and we can work some more on coaching and giving you some tools and things that we do that grow our business. So Wallet, if you want to add anything, but thank you all for allowing me to speak, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can, and I'll take any questions if anyone has any questions.
Well, first of all, thank you, John, for always being a friend of REAL, the Real Estate Syndicate of Lebanon. It's not your first time with us.
No.
And I would like to thank you because you took the initiative and contacted me this time, and you wanted to be with us after you saw the latest incidents in Lebanon this year, and you told me, I want to be a speaker. I want to give something to your member.
Yes.
So doing that and being on our side and thinking about us really means to us. So I would like to thank you in the name of all the members of REAL, and be sure that you are, for us, you're a very special person. You've been with us for many years now, and I've known you for 10 years, and I know, and I know the person that changed your life and invited you to Nice. He's a common friend of ours. Let me open the door now for some questions. Let us see who have some question about what you've mentioned, or anything that could be related directly or indirectly to technology or social media or tools.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we can maybe try to ask them what kind of topics would they like to hear, or maybe if you can send me some topics, and I will try to ask the members and what they're interested. So I'll open the door for questions. If anyone have a question, please, can you raise your hand or write something on the chat? Anything that comes to your mind. It can be in Arabic, in French. I'll translate it.
Okay, سعيدي مثل العادة أنا.
Yes.
I want to ask منشان في شيء قال إنه عم يربط بين الابليكيشنز. هل هو عم يربط بس كسيرش انجن، ولا الداتا بس ينزلها على ويب سايت او ابلكيشن معين عم ينزل هاي الداتا على باقي الويب سايت؟
وين هيدي اكزاكتلي حكيها؟ بس انا ارجع
حكي بشيء انه عم يربط بين الابلكيشنز او الويب سايتس.
Is there any special tool that you're using that can link the application to the website?
As far as when you do a video, or as far what application was he referring to?
عن أي وحدة كنت عم تحكي؟ عن أي application؟ بتتذكر شيء يوسف؟
كنت عم عوز تليفون تاني، عملت سكرين شوت للوحده وصراحه هلا برجع بشوفه بالتليفون الثاني، اذا لقيته برجع.
بعت لي اياه على تليفوني، انا بقول له عنه. He'll try to find it. He'll try to find it. He took a screenshot. He'll try to find it.
Okay.
So he'll get back to us. So we take another question. Philippe.
Hi, John.
Hello.
Thank you very much for this presentation. Thank you for all the softwares that you've been presenting. You've been talking about one thing. I remember you telling that you could compare or just snap out some elements of the competition, meaning if they were using some keywords on SEO, for example, or on certain platforms or whatever it is, Google, you might be able to use a software which would be enabling you to take out all this keywords they're using. How do you do that? What is the software that you're using to be able to get to that?
So you want to use, and thank you for that question. That's a great question. If you go to Google and you type in keyword tool, Google keyword tool, you'll find their free software. And what's interesting is, for example, for my real estate school, I typed in a lot of things, words that I was using: real estate school, online real estate school. And what I found when I use the Google keyword tool is that Google shows you other words that people are using. And they then said, you're searching for all of these, but one of the top words was called prep. People were searching for real estate school prep. And I was typing in real estate school help. And so when I flipped and I started including the word prep, I was being shown in more searches. Well, with the Google keyword tool, you can also put your competitor's website and their address, and it will tell you what keywords they use. And if you want to include those with yours, you can do that as well. So there's lots of really fascinating ways that you can discover what people are searching for, because your goal as a real estate professional in Beirut, Lebanon is, what are if people are interested in finding real estate in Beirut, what words are they using when they search for that? And that's what you then want to include as your keywords. The other thing you want to do is, when you post a video to YouTube or you write an Instagram post, you want to make sure those keywords are somehow, one or two of them are included with your title and down in the text that you type, if that makes sense, because that triggers the search engine to locate, and that's what pushes you up toward the top.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're
Thanks
welcome. It seems complicated, but once you get used to it and you think about it, it just comes naturally. And sometimes I forget and I have to go back and change it, but you can do that.
Okay, I'm back to the question. I wanted to know how does the Linktree work?
Linktree.
Yeah, that was the application he was referring to.
So Linktree, again, it's free. And I think, let me see if I can share my screen here. And hopefully you can see my screen now. And that's all of us on YouTube. So I'm going to go to Instagram first. Let's see. Now you should see a better picture of that. Okay, so I'm on Instagram. By the way, if you look at Instagram, notice I can't post to Instagram. However, if I go up to view, you want to go up to view, and you want to go down to developer tools right there. Now, notice I still can't post to Instagram. However, if I refresh my page, I can now post directly from my computer to Instagram. So that's a little workaround if you want to post to Instagram. Again, that was under View, Developer Tools. So here's what happens a lot of times on Instagram is I'm going to go to Global Real Estate School. Let's see. I'm going to go to actually, I wanted to go to, these are some of my Instagram posts here, but I actually want to go to my profile. And right here, you'll notice that here's my Linktree. So when you click on Linktree, it brings you over here. Well, if I do a post in Miami, Florida about the market, because again, that's, you know, we think about the lockdown and we think about, oh gosh, I can't sell real estate. Well, I have a real estate license in Florida. So guess what? I'm going to try to do business in Florida. So if I do a social media post and I target Miami, Florida, and it's about what's going on in the market, they can click on this. It drives them to my website. And remember the little flip builder I showed you, the magazine? Well, there's the digital magazine right there. And I can tell and show people what's happening in Florida. Now, I did that by using Linktree. If I want to send people to, if I want to do social media post about my new real estate book, I wrote a little book on tips for successfully passing the real estate exam. I can send them right to the book. If I want to send you to get your real estate license, I can send them right to my website. If I want to send a person to listen to my podcast, they can go right to my podcast and listen to my podcast. So again, I'm using Linktree, but the key for this is that my social media post will normally have something that when they click on the Linktree, they actually go right here to my Linktree. So if I go to LinkedIn, for example, I want to just show you this. I go to LinkedIn. If you search my profile, you'll find that under contact information, I'm using Linktree. Now, let me show you the really neat thing about Linktree here is if we go to Linktree, so you'll get started here and it's very inexpensive. It's not bad at all. And so when I log in, you can change your links at any time. So if I wanted, if I was doing an open house today, I can make this open house active. Now, this is what's neat about Linktree is I can set the date. So I want this to start. Today is the 10th. And I want this to, so it starts on the 10th. And it's going to end on the 11th. Oh, here it's going to start at 3 o'clock. And that's going to be PM. And so actually this link right here is Agent Open House. Now, if I go back out here, just so we can see the link tree. I did something wrong. Let me go back. I think oh, here we go. I did the wrong date. So we want to do that 10. And I must have. I'm going to clear all of that, but hopefully you can kind of understand if I want this link to be active and I can move that link around and move that to the top. Here's a new farm listing I had. So now I'm going to take you back out here. And so here's my new farm listing. And it takes you right out to the farm. So this is how I'm using virtual tours. So this is that farm I was telling you about, and I'm actually using a 360 camera. So again, Linktree's very, it's very user-friendly, and you can do some really neat things with it. It's just gonna, I hope that didn't confuse you. I hope that was okay.
No, it's good.
That's fine. I just want to know also if it's working with the GPS for the states.
I don't think so. No, I think it's just using. Have you tried to see if it was available?
What's that thing when you did for a state of Florida, or you chose a state for what that?
Oh, I
for what did you
chose.
choose that?
Yeah, I chose Florida because I actually pulled that information and I created all of that and put it on my website. And then I just told Linktree, if someone clicks on that, have them go to the page that I've set up. But does it use GPS? You have to kind of tell Linktree, this is where I want people to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions?
Yes, President, Mr. John.
Yes. Hello.
Who's this?
Yes, this is George Sucker. Thank you for this professional presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, just I want to know what's the difference between Capwing and iSkySoft. Both are software, isn't it?
Yes, the iSkySoft, and they may have changed their name or sold recently, is a one-time fee. Capwing, you do have to pay a monthly fee, but Capwing does everything online, but iSkySoft, you do it on your computer.
Okay.
So one is a one-time charge and one is monthly.
Okay, and yes, understood. So Capwing is the best for video makers for real estate, you mean?
No, not necessarily. It's a little easier and less time consuming.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. John.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well, Walid, have them send any suggestions if they liked it, if they would want another one, and we'll do one where I sit at my desk and we'll kind of maybe take one or two topics and explore those in a little more depth versus throwing a whole bunch of different ones. So
yeah, we can go a little bit more practical and teach them how to use specific softwares, how with entering to the settings and doing everything from A to Z. So I think that's a great idea. Any other question to our dear friends? Can you give us some more info about Global Real Estate School?
Yes. So Global Real Estate School, right now, we are in 8 or 9 states. We just got approved for Florida. So believe it or not, we're launching our course today or tomorrow. So if you want to get your Florida real estate license, I'm now approved in Florida. And we just recently got approved in Hawaii too, which I would love to be there because it's very cold here today with snow on the ground. But my courses are designed for people who are wanting to be in the United States. You have to go through a course and get a certificate in order to sell real estate. And so my courses are certified through the state, And by attending one of my courses, you have to take an exam, but you can sit for the exam. But I've had some students, believe it or not, from other countries who they just wanted to learn about getting their real estate license. And so they've taken it just to find out what we do in the United States. But we also have, in the United States, we have to take continuing education. So I provide courses for that. And then now that we have Florida and Hawaii up and running, my next goal is to do a full-fledged coaching program so that anyone around the world who wants to know, how do I develop a budget? How do I develop a marketing plan? All of those resources I'm putting together. But one of my goals, Walid, in 2021 is to put my first international course up. Slavisha from Serbia would like to help, but I'd love to be able to have a course available in your language that we could offer to real estate agents. So that's my goal. Is I'm called Global Real Estate School, so I should have a global course, and I don't have that yet, but hopefully we'll make that happen soon.
We'll coordinate it together. I will help you.
So my courses are very interactive. They're me teaching by video. There's also audio. They're not just reading and clicking your mouse. They're very interactive with lots of, and I even go out in the field. And when I talk about terminology, I usually am outside the home, and you get to see what I'm talking about and explaining how it works. So the students really love it. I get good feedback, but yeah, hopefully we can do another session very soon here.
Do you have any plans to coordinate between the applications and GPS?
I don't know much on that, but I can do some research before we meet again.
GPS, they're interested about applications linked to the GPS.
We do have, we have an application that we use in the United States called RPR, and it does link to GPS, and it does pull up properties based on wherever I am. So I am familiar with those, and I could show that next time.
Okay. Anything else to add?
President Walid, just we need this. Just we need this presentation video recorded.
Yeah, it is. You will send me the link. I think it's recorded and it will be on YouTube. You can send me the link.
I will. It's available right now on YouTube, so I'll send Walid the link as soon as we get off.
Okay, great.
If you go to YouTube, search for Business Tech Guy John Mayfield, you should find my YouTube link, but I'll send the link right away.
Okay, so thank you for this great session. As you said, we're gonna continue with some other, maybe 2 other sessions, and try to help our agents as much as possible to be familiar with technology tools and application that can increase and improve their real estate business. Thank you for our members. We are more than 54 members today. In terms of statistics, it's very good because we're a small association. So we have, as a total, we are 150 members. And having more than 50 members means that we had more than 30% of our members, which is a great number. And that's a constant number. Our members are always present in our events, and that's something I'm proud of. So thank you again, John. We'll be in contact. And thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. And we'll be in contact.
Thank you, Walid.
Take care. Thank you, John, again.
Thank you.